what does the VLOOKUP function do? The VLOOKUP function is used to search and deliver a value to a cell. So what it basically does is that it looks into the first column of your data set, which is commonly referred to as an array, and then moves across the row and looks for a specific value in a specified column, and then it returns it to you. Starting off, let us first understand the arguments that we need to supply in the VLOOKUP function. So in the first argument, we need to tell the VLOOKUP what value it should actually look up for. That is the first argument. It's always called the lookup value. The second argument is to tell VLOOKUP where the table is actually located, and that is the table array. In our third argument, we need to specify the column index number that contains the value that we want to return. Then in our fourth argument is where we tell VLOOKUP whether we are doing an exact or an approximate match. Don't worry, in a moment I will show you what exact or approximate match means. So welcome to the first video in a series on VLOOKUP, beginner to advanced. This is Godfrey from OpenTech Computers, and without wasting time, let us start writing our formula. So you can see in our first example, if this was an invoice that is being generated, we only need to give the product name and the price is automatically generated for us using the VLOOKUP function, and the VLOOKUP function will be picking the pricing from the table of prices given over here. So the formula then would be equals VLOOKUP. We need to give the lookup value, which is the product name, comma, the table array. This is the area where the price list is located, so I will highlight the whole range from A4 to D11, comma, then I'm also required to give the column index number. So I will start counting from the left. Product name is sitting in column number 1, product number is sitting in column number 2, product size is sitting in column number 3, and the price is our column number 4. So we are interested in returning the price of the product that is selected in cell F4, so I'll go ahead and put a 4. That is the column index number that contains the price, comma, and then we are doing an exact match. We can either put a false, or we can just double click on this option over here, or I can just put a 0, close brackets, hit enter key on the keyboard, and there you go. So I can put the number of units. If this was an invoice, let's say I'm putting 6 units, and my total pricing will auto-populate over here. Let us test this if it's actually giving us the correct answers. I will type mango, and there you go. This is 4,533 per unit. So for one reason or the other, in our second example, you may need to use data validation. Instead of typing the product name manually, for example, orange, you may only need to select from a predefined list. So when you click in cell F9, you'll see that there is a drop down icon which I can just point to, and I'm able to select my products in the list. So I'll run my VLOOKUP function over here, equals VLOOKUP. The lookup value, the table array remains the same, and the column index is number 4 because the price column is number 4 in our entire table, and I'm doing an exact match. I will just put a 0, close parenthesis, hit enter key on the keyboard. Then I can put the number of units, let's say 5, and then my pricing will auto-populate over here. Instead of typing in manually the product name, I can just pick from the drop-down list. Let's say guava. I'm able to see the price. Let's say orange, and there you go. All the formulas are working properly. You may, for one reason or the other, opt to eliminate the pricing column and have a table that looks like this. This means that this calculation of the price in 2 units will happen within the formula. Let's say how it's done. You say equals VLOOKUP. The lookup value is anything in cell F13, comma, the table array, of course, remains the same. The column index is 4, and we are doing an exact match. So when I hit enter key, I get a #NA just because there is no product name over here. So I'll create a drop down list, Alt DL on my keyboard. I got list, then I can select my product list. Click OK. There you go. So I can select any product and my price will pop up over here. So currently what is being returned here is the price of the product that is selected in cell F13. But our interest is to have the total amount resulting from the units that the client is paying for. So let's assume we have 5 as our units. So I'll come over and edit our formula. Can just come at the end and say we multiply the result of the formula into cell G13 and hit enter key on the keyboard. As soon as you do that, you'll see that the total price is auto calculated. You can go ahead and change the product. I say orange and the client is paying for 10 pieces, this is how much they will actually pay. So the other scenario is dealing with the hash NA errors. Sometimes if you misspell the product name, you may end up getting a hash NA error. How do you get rid of that? This is what you do. You write your formula equals VLOOKUP. This is the lookup value. The table array remains the same, comma. The column index is 4 and we are doing an exact match. Assuming the client is paying for 7 units, this is the total amount they are supposed to pay. But let's assume you wrongly misspell the product name. Let me add an E at the end. There you go. You get an hash NA error. So we need a simple message in our formula to tell the user that you've typed an incorrect product name. So this is what you do. So you just come over in your formula and wrap the whole function into an if error function. You say if error, open brackets, value if true, of course the formula will run, value if false, you put any message, you open quotes, you say incorrect product name, close quotes, close parenthesis, hit enter key on the keyboard. So immediately a user misspells the product name, they will get this message. Similarly, we have to deal with the hash value error in our totals column. So I'll have to write an if statement. I'll come over to the formula bar and say equals if cell L4 does not equal to incorrect product name, comma, then the formula should run. Otherwise, give us nothing. Close brackets, hit enter key on the keyboard. So what we've just done is that whenever the product name is incorrectly spelled, we should get this message, incorrect product name, in cell L4. And because we can't multiply the price into the units, that means we would get a hash value error in our total column. We should get nothing, not until the product is correctly spelled. In our next second video in a series of VLOOKUP beginner to advanced, we shall look at the approximate match examples. Thank you for watching. If you found this valuable, please consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. See you in the next video.